The king is expressing his intent. He's concerned that because even though he's named Edward as the heir, there's a little bit of uncertainty in the court around who the line of succession is going to pass to, and quite a bit of nervousness. And it wouldn't be so bad, except the kingdom is at war. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to what will be the final episode of the Noble Generation of My Medieval Legacy Challenge. It's Edward's birthday tomorrow in game. Aimee's in her third trimester. It's good timing because I'd like to at least be here for her when she has this child. And then unfortunately with aging disabled, I'm going to actually have to do a lot of aging up in this save. It's the first time we've had a gen finish when the parents are still young enough that they have, like, where the heir has lots of younger siblings who aren't teens already. I'm going to make some notes on when that I should come back, like how many days in game I should come back to actually age them up. Until Edward has kids of his own, I won't have anyone to like peg the age of the save to, because I usually use the kids' ages. But that's all right. It's because we did amazingly and got the whole thing done. Now, the boys are at school. Edward is in a pretty good state. He started a food fight in the kitchen, and my Sims said what a natural leader, because he's going to be king, so obviously. Poor Felix. I desperately, before I finished in this household, wanted him to complete this aspiration. I had him stay up half the night trying to get the high score on the typing game, but in this save, all of the Sims hate video games because I'm punishing my Sims for playing on their phones. And he took forever to get the high score, and he not only stayed up half the night, but he was like, are you throwing up? You are. I thought you needed to pee, but no. So apparently, I learned this from watching James Turner's ranch playthrough he's doing at the moment. Stayover guests won't cook if you have simple living engaged. I'm hoping when we get to the next generation, because I'm not going to have simple living on the royal generation, my stayover guests will actually cook. Why did you do that? Back up the stairs. Come on. I've started emptying out their inventories, so I'm going to leave the animal traits here. We're not going to have an animal in the next generation. I gave him both of the knitted onesies that we have. So one was the one, I think, from first generation. I seem to remember Zachary bought it for Olivia. Poor Felix is so tired. He was so mad when he went to bed last night. He had an anger +3 moodlet just from playing computer games. So why don't you come have a nap? The parents currently aren't aware. Well, they might suspect because they've gotten a letter from the king saying that he'll be attending Edward's birthday. So they're probably wondering, at least assuming they'll get a kind of timeline of when the king wants his heir to attend him at the palace and learn the ways of being a king, because obviously that's the thing Edward needs to do before he's a young adult. Oh, I also spent Gabriel's points, his reward points that he had sitting there. I might do the same with Aimee too, because I've earned those points, dang it. I've spent them on potions. The main one that I got is Fear Be Gone, so that way if there's a fire and he ends up with a fear of fire or something, we can just get rid of it without having to cheat. So I did that. I also grabbed 2 moodlet solvers, plus he's got all of this stuff. I haven't grabbed the photos yet. No one wanted to play with me. Talk to the teacher. You are the crown prince. Honestly, that is probably the response that would actually happen, but I'm going to say ask to join in. So let's have a chat to her about your upcoming birthday and the king, and what's the king like, you know, because he has met the king before, but it's been a while, you know. What was it like growing up in the palace? And Aimee's telling him about, she was the younger sister. She had 3 older siblings. They were triplets. They were very tight. She was a little bit lonely, but also, you know, the palace is huge and there are lots of staff. She's kind of trying to reassure him, even though he'll be moving away from his immediate family, that he will be very well looked after. And we could also have, probably not until the kids are a bit older, but we could also have stayovers. Maybe Felix in particular could come and stay at the palace for a bit. I would actually love that because I adore Felix. And I really would love to have him do a stayover. I don't know if kids doing stayovers go to school or not. That'll be interesting. We'll find out. But yeah, Felix is like my favorite little bean. I'm actually really sad to be leaving him behind. I'm not going to lie. What are you doing? He's like, vampires. Pow, pow, pow. Now, if you've seen the machinima, speaking of vampires, you will know that Penelope is no more. I did age up the save in between parts. again, and I'd actually, fortunately this time I remembered to pause Aimee's pregnancy because I have stuffed that up before. Alright, so it's the next day, and oh, I love he's just like, it's my birthday party, I'm gonna play with this toy one last time. Why don't you greet your guest? Oh, the king's here. Actually, we have to greet the king first, obviously. The king is dancing, so therefore we must dance. By the way, Gabriel did have the mentor skills, so he's actually been mentoring Felix, because Felix wanted fun and social, and I was hoping that would help. Turns out it didn't help with the social, but that's fine. We're going to get him off the piano, because it is party time. What's the matter? Oh, you're sick too. Everybody's sick. Oh, by the way, I grabbed, because Aimee has a bunch of really good quality flowers, and I grabbed one of each of them. Because I had this idea that it would be really cute if the future queen had a solar with flowers and stuff in it, like inside the house, inside the castle. I thought that'd be really cool. So I stole one of each of Aimee's crep plants. By the way, she has not, despite my expectations, gone into labor yet. I did pause the pregnancy, which has thrown the timing off, and I know that, but like in terms of the time of day, because probably they were hoot in the evening, and I think it's a straight. I don't know if there's a random percentage chance with it, or if it's a straight counter. All right, Felix, have you greeted the king in the past? You should do a friendly, actually respectful introduction. He's a good guy. King Gregory is actually a good guy. I mean, unless you're a vampire, obviously, you might feel differently. In terms of our guests, we have Abram Lionheart, who is the one who he's the head of the knights. He got the killing blow on Penelope. You will have seen that. Him and the dogs did all of the heavy lifting on that. I didn't have to cheat to kill her. If you're wondering, all I had to do was cue constant interactions outside, and the sim just stayed there. So the dogs kept her busy attacking her. I didn't even know you could do that, but you can because they're all aggressive. So Madeline is obviously Galahad's wife. Galahad is over here. These are James's parents. And we have King Gregory sitting at the head table, as is appropriate. The king is expressing his intent. He's concerned that because even though he's named Edward as the heir, Edward living out in the boonies, basically in the boondocks, means that there's a little bit of uncertainty in the court around who the line of succession is going to pass to, and quite a bit of nervousness, and it wouldn't be so bad except the kingdom is at war. So he's doing his very, very best to steady. He knows Edward has a great deal of potential as a future king, but Edward is a mystery to the court, so they want to know that Edward is a suitable future king, and he needs to reassure everybody. So he's planning on taking Edward with him, which I already told you guys, but obviously this would be a bit of a shock to Gabriel and Aimee, because they'll be like, wow, that's so quick. Have a deep personal conversation with your brother. You are tired, and I should let you sleep because you're probably going to pop that baby out in a minute, but here we are. The king is here. Why is Edward hiding? Did he not hear this? Maybe he heard it and he got nervous and he ran off. Talk about school, because he's asking, what kind of education will he be getting in the city. And we're going to get Edward to, because I do need him to obviously blow out the candles. Happy birthday, bud. He's like, oh, I fail at candle. Oh no. Have that little one. He's like, yeah, I did it. Yay! Oh my gosh. We're trying to make a really social sim here. But also he's leading a kingdom that's at war. So, no, not erratic. Definitely not. I'm thinking like self-assured. He's been built up his whole life for this. He has to do Big Happy Family, I think. I might actually put him on something else just for a little bit. That way we can switch to Big Happy Family at the point where he gets married. Because until that point, he can't really do much with that. I'm tempted to put him on a knowledge aspiration because he will have to do a lot of study before. Let's put him on Renaissance Sim for now. He's obviously not going to have 3 different careers. He's not even going to have one. Just to sort of reflect the book learning part, like the getting lots of skills. Because he's currently moving in with the king to learn how to be a king. So this would reflect that. And at the point where he gets married, we'll obviously switch him to Big Happy Family. Oh, you aged up with a cap on. All right, it's been an eternity for me, but I wanted to give our future king the fashion wardrobe that he not only deserves but would get, because his wardrobe is pretty much out of his hands now. There would be attendants in court who would choose what he wears based on current fashion, and he would get a little bit of say but not a huge amount. So I've given him a lot of outfits and it took ages. Once I've moved him in with the king, I'm just going to deconflict the two, so you may see some tweaks, but this is more or less what he's going to look like. Also, I just wanted to say I clicked on a hairstyle in the catalogue at one point when I was doing this, and I think it was one of the ones Gerard had. Oh my god, this boy looks like Gerard. His hair's a bit longer. I did experiment with some really long hairs, but I ended up going back to sort of shoulder length. This is what he looks like. This is his kind of everyday default look. As he gets older, I'll probably give him some facial hair, but I'm just going to run through his outfits. Like I said, there are a lot, so I'm going to do this fairly quickly. And some of them you'll see, like this is obviously two swatches of the same outfit, but some of them are quite different. Like this one, hats are in fashion at the moment. I've had these hats for ages in my game and now I have an excuse to use them. So this one has a different coloured feather. This is slightly more comfortable outfit, but hats are in fashion, like I said. I've only given him the crown for his formal and party wear because it's not like royals go through life wearing crowns all the time. We have 3 different everyday or athletic wears. This one I suspect the king is probably wearing, but we'll see. There's this one which is more of a workout wear vibe, and then there's this one. I actually really love that. This is new. I only just got this top. So that is one of his sleepwears. We have this one, very purple. This is his first party wear. You'll notice that he's wearing a lot of stockings. In medieval, a lot of my male sims wear stockings because they would have been wearing hose. The fact that it's tagged feminine, I don't care. This is his swimwear, but I don't know how often we'll see that. Hot weather was tricky. Obviously, this jacket would be very warm in summer, but I figured the legs at least are exposed. Likewise, this wouldn't be quite as bad. This one has rolled up sleeves. The flared pants bother me a little bit, but that's okay. And then we have something else with rolled up sleeves. Cold weather. This one's actually like an anime outfit, but I was like, I can make it work. It's fine. And then we have this one. Love it. And this one. This hat, by the way, I'll just click on it real quick so you can see. STSS, again, I think I got it from the Sims resource, not 100% sure, but it has so many swatches, so you can change the colour of the hat, the little broochy bit, and the feathers separately. So hopefully you guys like his makeover. I had a lot of fun with it, but it's taken me a super long time, so let's jump back into the game. And here's our boy in game, looking amazing. I love how we started on the final note of happy birthday. You don't look very happy, my dude. What's going on? Oh, Aimee. Who's having an amorous exchange with Madeline? No, absolutely not. I had just sent her to the bathroom. She's like, Felix, get out, I'm busting. So go and talk to Tiana, because she's going to obviously be midwifing you for this. She's like, so I may need some help. Let's confess our fear of vampires. Given what happened when Felix was born, I think this is fair. Every time she goes into labor, she's probably remembering her mother and how her mother died. We'll get Tiana to check how far along how far apart the contractions are or something. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, well the party's finished, so everyone's leaving. That's good. Yeah, actually, a nap is a great idea, Aimee, because you are so tired. So I'm going to let her have a quick little nap. When she's got an hour to go, I'm going to have her go, in fact, now, I'm going to have her go downstairs because I want to be able to choose for the baby to be in this bassinet. All right, Aimee, you can do this, my darling. Gabriel, get your butt down here. Support your wife, hold her hand, tell her how beautiful she is. And also you can light this fire. Yeah, Nubu, get out of there. It's a boy! She likes to have boys, I have to say. Now, I have got a name picked out. We're going to call him Henry, because I had a look at lists of medieval names. We may have actually had a Henry in the family before. It was a super common medieval name for boys. So we're going to say Henry. He's run in at the last possible second. When you think about it, Gabriel would be over the moon because he's got 3 sons. One of them is kind of ruled out for inheriting the sort of ward estate because he's going to be inheriting the kingdom. That means he's still got an heir and a spare. Felix's health is a bit problematic. So now this little baby, who was not born prematurely, will hopefully have a better start in life. Certainly Edward and Justine have both been very healthy children so far. So because he's leaving with the king, I'm going to get him to come up here. We're going to put things in his inventory that he would take with him. A lot of these photos are explicitly only for the heir. Jacob and Anaya will make a copy because obviously that's Gabriel's dad and mum, and I think he'd want to have a photo of them. This is an heir photo as well. So I'm going to let him sleep. We'll move him out in the morning. Now, I'm going to end this part here, you guys. I have loved playing in this house. I've loved being able, even though it's been a bit overwhelming at times, I've really loved being able to do some of the kind of cottage living stuff that we couldn't do during the farming generation. Having Aimee be interested in gardening, having her on that aspiration, meant we kind of got to do the simple living thing that we didn't get to do in the farming gen. I wish the cottage living had been out. We could have really leaned into the cows and llamas and all of that. I only had 1 cow, and that was only because I needed a source of milk. And I have chickens for the eggs for us. I have been selling excess though, because you do end up with way more than you need. So yeah, it's been cool. And having the addition of horses towards the end, I would have built this place with a stable if the horse pack had been out sooner. We probably won't have horses on lot at the King's Palace because there's just no room. It's a smaller lot. But I will do like what I did with these guys here, where there will be a stable in Windenburg, and I will put, Edward will own a horse, and I will put his horse in that stable, and when he needs to go somewhere, we'll just invite it over and ride it. So that's how I'm going to do all of that. I hope you've really enjoyed this, Jen. I have loved it, but I'm really glad to be getting out because Henry, oh my God, I just can't. Another newborn. Aimee is the most fertile sim ever. If this were a modern day thing, I'd actually flag her as not being able to get pregnant and say she was on the pill or something. But because it's medieval, I'm not doing that with any of them. So if you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.